on Coastline News, find out how one mom and pop shop is making a name for itself.
And hear from our special guest how the law yes means yes is affecting universities.
You're watching Coastline News.
Good evening and welcome to Coastline News. I'm Katie Seals.
And I'm Greta Wall.
The billions of dollars the U.S. spends on the defense of fossil fuels abroad is gaining attention here in San Diego. One documentary is fueling the conversation between students, faculty, and a congressman who is in a nail-biting race for the 52nd district seat. Its debut last night in Colt Forum. The documentary highlights what it says is the greatest long-term national security threat confronting the U.S., dependency on oil. After the screening, a panel of experts, including PLNU faculty and Congressman Scott Peters, opened up the conversation to students. Peters is running in the congressional race for the 52nd District against former mayoral candidate Carl DeMaio. Peters took the opportunity to reach out to Point Loma students on issues he finds important, like the transition away from fossil fuels. He also believes strongly in providing students and families with the resources to pay for education.
When we ask kids to pay all these really high rates on student loan debt, it really burdens them, and I think a lot of them are intimidated from going to school. Some of them drop out because they're scared about the debt, and then when they do get out, a lot of them are worried about not buying that house, not starting a family, and that's a drag on the economy.
As the race tightens and voter registration comes to an end, the documentary, The Burden, asks Congress to simply listen to the American people.
We really want to get people at Point Loma, students here, and young people in general involved and engaged in making an impact on those issues.
Katie Seals, Coastline News.
A new California law will ban plastic bags by January 2015. Single-use plastic bags will be prohibited at grocery stores and pharmacies. The ban aims to reduce the buildup of plastic waste in the ocean that costs millions of dollars to clean up. Stores will charge 10 cents for paper bags in an effort to encourage consumers to bring reusable bags of their own.
Mayor Kevin Faulconer joins a call to impose mandatory water restrictions on San Diego residents and businesses during the drought. The proposal was set before the City Council's Environment Committee on Wednesday. Councilman David Alvarez chairs the committee and is making the water restrictions mandatory. If this is approved by the City Council and signed by the mayor, there will be fines if water restrictions are violated.
A Temecula boy is in a medically induced coma after suffering an electrical shock at his own birthday party. The boy's baseball coach gave him CPR at the party before he was rushed to the hospital. Doctors believe the medically induced coma is the best way for the boy's body to heal. The family says they are not concerned about how the shock occurred, but only the health of their son.
This local coffee shop offers more than your typical Starbucks. Reporter Marissa Hornaday tells us why a brand name may not be all there is.
An estimated 60% of Americans start their day with a cup of coffee, and for coffee drinkers in San Diego, it's easy to get that morning boost with a shop on nearly every corner. But if you're a fan of small local coffee shops, why not try something a little outside the box? The Bean Box is a drive-through coffee shop tucked away in the Point Loma Heights Shopping Center, best known for their Mexican and Ghirardelli chocolate mochas. But aside from their unique drinks, owner Katrini Callie feels that there is something special that sets the Bean Box apart.
It almost feels like a family. You see the same people every morning. You know a little bit about the story. You know what's going on the weekend. I've been here since 2007, so it's very homey. It's just good to keep up and be a little neighborhood coffee shop. I love it. I really enjoy it.
Well, this little box packs a whole lot of energy, and that's not just because of all of the coffee. Katrini and her workers make it a priority to know their customers' names and favorite drinks so that even on the busiest mornings, they can start their day with a friendly smile, quickly grab their coffee, and start their day. Despite the building of a new big-name coffee shop across the street, the line for the Bean Box hasn't slowed a bit, and the customers wouldn't want to go anywhere else.
I drive through every day and I love the Bean Box. It's the best coffee in Point Loma. I can't start my day without it.
Marissa Hornaday, Coastline News.
Delaware mother Ashley Toll pays $6,000 to be released from jail after her 4-year-old daughter brought over 200 bags of heroin to school and shared them with her classmates. Hickory Tree child care employees spotted the bags of heroin and immediately called police. Toll's daughter said she thought the bags were filled with candy. Her mother gave her the backpack filled with the bags of heroin after their family dog destroyed her original backpack. Children were rushed to the hospital but have now been released.
PLNU's president joins us to speak about how the new law, yes means yes, will affect this campus.
And find out if San Diego will take a break from the heat wave. Weather reporter Nick Kelgard will tell us what next week is going to look like.
Minds can achieve anything. We make sure they get to college. Federal student aid provides more than $150 billion in grants, loans, and work-study funds to make college possible for anyone with the mind to get there. Because if given the chance, minds will do great things. Federal Student Aid, proud sponsor of the American Mind. Learn more about money for college at studentaid.gov.
Parents sure have their hands full, and they could use an extra hand. Now, every state offers free or low-cost health insurance for your sports hero or budding artist. Kids up to age 19 can get checkups, doctor and dentist visits, hospital care, prescriptions, and more. Your child may qualify based on your family size and income. It's one less thing to worry about. Call or go online for more information.
California is the first in the nation to define when yes means yes for sexual consent. The new law requires an affirmative, conscious, and voluntary agreement to engage in sexual activity. Someone who is drunk, drugged, or asleep cannot grant consent.
Joining us now is PLNU President Bob Brower to discuss how this law will be affecting our campus. Welcome, Dr. Brower.
Thank you. Good to be here.
Thanks for joining us. So how is the Yes Means Yes law going to be implemented here on the Point Lomas campus?
Well, there's some specific requirements really that are for both individuals as well as the university. And you've mentioned the Yes Means Yes applies to the actions of individuals. For the university, we must establish informational and training policies that provide for all of the students what our policies and procedures are to enforce the law. So that really will be our response. Those guidelines should be coming out soon and be available as the law becomes clearer for those requirements.
Now, Point Loma is a dry campus. Do you think we still struggle with the issue of sexual consent under the influence?
In relationship to many other campuses, the no alcohol policy that we have is really an attribute for all of the relationships on campus. In fact, there are several other campuses, even public campuses, that are now looking at establishing dry campus policies because alcohol has been so critically involved in the kinds of sexual violence that the laws address.
Do you think that this school provides a safe environment for victims of sexual assault to come out and ask for help when they're victims?
Yeah, I think our policies and procedures really do provide that kind of context. We have a great deal of support. It's private in that it's individual and personalized, so it's not really publicly known when a case might occur. But it is well prepared, and those policies and procedures really go into effect very quickly.
Okay. And clearly you're a very involved president. We always see you on CAF Lane talking to students, shaking hands. What would you do if you had a student come to you with this kind of an issue?
The first response, I think, for all of us is to get individuals to the resource people that are trained and prepared to provide that. So we have counselors, we have both internal and external resources that are available. And so in any of those practices, I would be getting those to the trained individuals who are prepared to work in that context.
Okay, thanks. So what are like the specific things that happen, the process that happens after a student was to come to someone at our administration and come forward about being a victim of this?
Yeah, there's real good support that's provided through the Wellness Center. We have counselors there. At times, part of the procedure may involve the San Diego Police Department. There are procedures there that they have that would need to be followed. But we also have ongoing support within our campus residential life staff, student development staff, and other professionals on campus. So those move very quickly into our process of support.
Okay. And do you think that do you think that PLNU has the responsibility now as one of these schools in California to be role models for the rest of the nation?
Well, we really have little choice in terms of whether or not we want to do it. It is the law. We will obey the law. And it's important for us to respond to support anyone who might have been victimized. So we will move to be fully compliant, and I hope to be a model in the process as well.
Okay, thank you so much for joining us
Good.
on this issue, and pleasure to have you on our show.
Yes, nice to be here. Thank you.
Thank you.
4 Lucky Point Loma students won a cash prize for their new invention. PLNU hosted an Innovation Inspiration Workshop where 30 CEOs came in to judge student ideas. Over 20 groups of students registered. Students in groups of 4 pitched original ideas to CEOs for their chance to win a cash prize.
I'm mostly looking to see if they actually have an idea that they can describe clearly, that has some reasonable shot of being a marketable idea. If they've thought about any of the problems that are associated with getting it to market.
Was graded innovators on originality, practicality, and revenue potential. The student group won a cash prize of $200 each for their invention of a built-in mint with a coffee mug.
Now, for the first time here on Coastline News, we are having an entertainment section by our very special entertainment reporter, Ross Niederhoff.
And Ross, and Ross, I really do have to be upfront with you. I don't pay much attention to celebrity news, so I'm really looking forward to getting the scoop
I'm going
from
to fill you guys in and also fill you in, Point Loma. Tonight I've got some entertainment news that covers a little bit of everything, both local and national, so let's get right to it. Adam Levine finds himself in misery this week after releasing the music video for his new hit single, Animals. The video features him stalking his real-life model wife, Bahati Prinsloo, and also incorporates a butcher theme that is also pretty heavy on the blood and gore. Animal rights organization PETA was quick to respond. They were surprisingly in support of the meat-related message, saying that it puts butchering in a negative light. However, the Rape, Abuse, and Incest National Network was not so supportive. This anti-rape organization slammed the video, saying it confuses sexual assault with romance. Levine is not the only one in trouble with the law this week, however. Turns out Miley Cyrus's homeless VMA date Jesse Helt won't be living on the streets very much longer. Helt's party in the USA ended on Tuesday as he was arrested and sentenced to 6 months in prison under charges of violation of probation for a burglary he committed in 2010. In other music-related news, San Diego is in for a royal treat tomorrow as Lorde performs at SDSU's Open Air Theater. The concert comes as Lorde's second tour of the U.S. this year, and tickets are still available through several vendors and start at $40. So who's excited for Halloween this year, right around the corner? Just me?
I'm really
very excited.
I love scary movies and I love haunted houses. I think they're so much fun.
And I love the candy.
Yeah, also a good part.
It's a good part.
Well, let me tell you guys about some haunted experiences that you can enjoy in San Diego this year. The first on our list is going to be the Haunted Hotel, which is downtown on Market Street. This horrifying inn has been named one of the U.S.'s top 13 haunted houses and is open Wednesday through Sunday nights until November 1st. Next is the Scream Zone, which can be found on the Del Mar Fairgrounds. This haunted hayride may be somewhat of a drive from Point Loma, but is definitely worth the journey. It's also open Wednesday through Sunday until the 1st. Next but not least would be the Haunted Trail located in Balboa Park. This mile-long trek through the woods terrorizes patrons with its cast of disturbing forest dwellers. And that's right, you guessed it, it's also open Wednesday through Sunday nights. For more information on any of these, head over to hauntedhotel.com. That is all the entertainment news I have for you, Point Loma. This has been Ross Niederhoff.
Thanks so much, Ross. A newly engaged couple had a not-so-romantic ocean view when their hot air balloon landed near the coast of Cardiff by the sea. Eric Barretto proposed to his girlfriend when the balloon shifted over the ocean. The pilot threw a line into the water and surfers pulled the balloon back to shore. The balloon basket landed near shore with waves beating against it. No one was injured, and Eric now has a proposal to remember.
And on to some weather news. We are hoping that this heat wave is finally coming to an end.
That is right. My apartment has been so humid. So Nick, please give me some good news about the weather.
We might have some good news for you guys. It has been cooling down a little bit. In fact, if we look to what it currently is and what the current conditions are here in San Diego, we'll be able to see that it is cooling down somewhat with 68 Fahrenheit. Currently is the temperature. Not much wind at 2 miles per hour. The rain is not going to happen tonight, just at 3%, but unfortunately we do have a relatively high humidity point at about 80%. But the lows for tonight are 64 here in San Diego before heading off a little cooler slightly north in El Cajon and Encinitas at 61, and then we hit kind of that wall of 59 reaching from Oceanside all the way to the mountains there in Julian, and then also below San Diego in Chula Vista, it's a little cooler down there. But let's take a look at what the highs for tomorrow will be and see what we have headed into the weekend. Along the California coast, we have kind of about mid-70s throughout from Chula Vista all the way up to Encinitas, 66 here in San Diego. And then up in Oceanside, kind of down to El Cajon, we start entering the 80s, 79, 86 in Escondido, and 82 in El Cajon before hitting the mountains at 75 degrees. Let's take a look at the surf report, which is currently 2 to 3 feet, and that's actually the projected forecast for tomorrow as well. The high tide will be at 10:38 a.m., and we'll see the low tide at 4:38 a.m. and again at 5:37 p.m. So another consistent day out on the water here at the coast. Your 7-day forecast, we can see that we'll actually be having relatively cooler weather than we've had in the past few weeks. We'll be entering the mid-70s here. Monday will hit the 80s, 81, kind of their little spike, but then it'll cool off pretty rapidly. We start entering the lower 70s, hopefully a sign that autumn is here for good, and we finally have that cooler weather and your apartment will actually cool down there, Greta. So
70s are really good news for
Yes.
me. I live in San Diego for that kind of weather, not for the weather we're having right now.
Exactly. Thank you for that, Nick. Thank you so much. Find out how San Diego could get a makeover if a $250 million project gets approved.
And sports reporter Hillary Zieber will update you on the baseball race to the World Series and how the Chargers are enjoying the talent of their veteran quarterback.
Where do you think you're going?
Is your body holding you back?
I want to go running. Not with that knee, you're not. I'm fine. Negative.
Your bones and joints can say no at any age.
With that shoulder, you're going to pick up that truck. Really?
Keeping you from working, playing, or just plain moving.
Let's not pick her up. What do you say?
Yet a lot of people who live with pain fight back.
Use your head. Save your back. My bride, my rules.
And regain their lives.
You gotta be kidding me.
Whoa. I'm going running. I'm going running.
Got to see this. Come on, pick it up.
Fight for your mobility. Find your own inspiration at anationinmotion.org. A message from the American Academy of Orthopedic Surgeons.
Come on. I'll take it from here.
A new sports arena may be underway in the upcoming months. San Diego leaders are proposing that the Valley View Casino Center, now decades old, should be remodeled. National City Mayor Ron Morrison thinks a sports arena should be built along the bayfront. This project would cost roughly $250 million. No official plans have been drafted or approved, but San Diego Mayor Kevin Faulconer says he is open to these options.
October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and PLNU is doing their part to raise awareness. Coastline's Greta Wall has how the volleyball team kicked off the events.
The PLNU volleyball team hosted their annual Dig Pink Night on Thursday, October 2nd against Cal Baptist University. The event has been held every October for over a decade and raises money to donate to breast cancer research.
We're doing a bake sale giving proceeds to the Susan B. Coleman Foundation. And really it's just a matter of raising awareness for breast cancer and really all cancer survivors.
And everyone made sure to wear pink. Coaches, players, and even the fans. The first 200 fans were given a pink Point Loma volleyball shirt when they arrived. The PLNU Athletics Department donated $1 for every ticket purchased to the Side Out Foundation's efforts to fight breast cancer. Then they gave fans the chance to increase that donation through all different kinds of in-game activities and competitions. The activities happened between each set, and fans were successful in doubling the donation. This fundraiser strikes home for not only fans, but also the members of the team.
This event's really personal. just about everybody, myself included, has someone in their family or close family friend that has either passed from cancer or survived, and it's just very personal.
Players wore the initials of someone in their life affected by breast cancer on their warm-up shirts, and the night kicked off the Chalk Walk for Hope, where students can write messages to their loved ones for the remainder of the month. Greta Wall, Coastline News.
Hillary Zieber photobombed us just a moment ago, and she's here to give us a rundown of our sports this week.
I'm excited about this because I love baseball, so inform us about what's going on.
Well, I'll tell you everything. So I have the latest in Major League sports. Just last week, MLB wrapped up the National and American League Division Series to land the final 4 teams in the championship. In the Cardinals' final game, Matt Adams hit a crushing home run off Clayton Kershaw in the bottom of the 7th inning, and St. Louis held on to defeat the Dodgers 3-2. This is the Cards' 4th consecutive season into the NLCS in San Francisco after the Nats threatened to keep the game going with Wilson Ramos ground out to the end of the game and Washington's season. San Francisco will take on St. Louis in the AL Championship Series starting this Saturday night. The Kansas City Royals booked their ticket to the ALCS by completing a division sweep of the Los Angeles Angels with an 8-3 win. James Shields' efforts and another offensive outburst were enough to get the Game 3 victory and put away the AL West champions in the decisive fashion. After another series sweep, Baltimore beat a pair of recent Cy Young Award winners to move on to the ALCS. If the O's can take just one of their next 3 games against the Royals, it will be their first postseason series win since 1997. The first game of the NL Championship Series is tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Moving on into the NFL, after a couple of rough seasons, Phillip Rivers is back and in a big way. That's all I have for sports for you. Thanks so much. I'm Hillary Zieber.
Thanks so much for joining us on our second Coastline News of the semester. See you again in 2 weeks. I'm Greta Wall.
I'm Katie Seals.